It is Sunday, July 14th, 2019. Bitcoin has topped out and has been pulling back, but instead of trying to identify where it's going to go down to, let's see if we can talk about what to look for when it does hit a bottom and gets ready to turn back around again. This is the 24 hours of Bitcoin. If you haven't already, be sure to pause the video and read through the disclaimer because this isn't trading advice, just market observation. And if you like this information and you like this analysis, be sure to check out the link to our Patreon channel that I just set up. We've already got 4 patrons. Now, let's jump in. We are looking at the Relative Strength Index and the weekly candles of Bitcoin. The first big weekly wick here, we were figuring that was going to be a reversal wick, but not so fast. It had to do a double top, and we gave us a double reversal wick before things pulled back. And as we were watching the RSI and the weekly build up, we were watching for this to top out or spike higher, knowing that there's not much higher for it to spike on the weekly before we're going to get a top and it's going to pull back. And when it does do a top and pull back, it's usually a quick spike with a straight line back. So here we are starting out on its way back. Some long time ago when I started doing these, we were anticipating that there would be a long uptrend of the RSI on the weekly time frame, something like what we saw in the past. And then we're going to go choppy, choppy, choppy. So what we're looking for generally in the weekly RSI is that it does pull back and touch this trend line. When it touches this trend line, we're going to be looking for a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and the break of the exponential moving averages. Let me clean this up and zoom in. So this is good to see the confirmation of the break that we were watching for. As this is breaking these top formations and the RSI is breaking these levels on the daily, pretty key stuff. Let's zoom in on the 12-hour time frame. We were looking at this divergence and pointing it out. And it's not always that the RSI divergence makes, the prices break down after that. So following what's going on this is really key, that it fits with what the chart patterns are doing. And we're looking for a very simple top formation strategy here and bottom formation strategy. Same thing over and over again. I was anticipating greater moves up from here, but as the RSI trend line broke, right at the same time that we had a little minuscule top formation and this triangle set up there, the two of them fit together. It's hand in glove and off we go, especially with the other indicators that we were watching on the 4-hour time frame really put this all together at that time. And here's our Discord chat. So I pulled up this screenshot from this very moment as things were coming up to that moment, and I was watching. I took this screenshot July 10th as it was topping out there. So knowing ahead of time what you're looking for makes it easier to be watching for it as it's coming up. This is the 4-hour. Let's zoom in. I want to track all the 1-hour time frame now, because now we're getting into it's coming down. I'm watching for a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. I'm watching to see these indicators give me a divergence. And so far, right now in the 1-hour time frame, we've got some a pretty good divergence where we've got oversold all the way along here. Now we need to see it build some structure and return the other direction. 1-hour time frame, 15-minute time frame, not enough. There is a little divergence here. That's how it starts out, but now we have to track it and it has to get some meat on it. It has to build from here. Now let's go on to the next indicator, which is the unbalanced volume. There's our exhaustion wicks easing off of volume on the second side. Zoom into the 1 daily chart, and here again we are watching this ease off and mentioning it when the double top happened. So with those things building up, then it's easier to watch for the little wee 1, 2, 3 top formation that happened there on the 10th of July. Right in here as it made a double top, watching the unbalanced volume weakening off. You just got to pay more attention. When we're zooming in here now, I'm checking to see, is this unbalanced? Is the volume positive or is it negative? And right now it's dumpy dump, negative, negative. So I'm not watching for a bottom formation yet and anticipating further prices down. Just from looking at the dump here, an extra dump here, it's not lighter, right? We're going, and it's heavier here as we're coming down. So it still hasn't lightened up on the right-hand side of the chart. Still too heavy here. Still anticipating more downside. Now, the MACD on the weekly chart, been watching for this histogram to ease back, which is a measure of the distance between these two lines. And as that's easing back, that shows the momentum is easing off on this top, and it's not going to be this is not the time to be buying. This is coming down further. Here we got the histogram going deeper in negative. We got the crossover and the crossover again. We were paying attention to this divergence here and talking about how this indicator is often a leading indicator. And when prices do, and they will, when they come back down and they do make a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and a turnaround, you can bet this indicator is going to be crossing over right there at just after the number 1 point as we're building up to get our 1, 2, 3. That's what we're going to be watching for. And the story won't change. We'll watch for this up and down and up and down and up and down. What is this? The 1-day view. 12-hour view. Still bleeding further. Like this is increasing. These distances are, the histograms are, there's more momentum going down. 1 hour time frame. It did cross over. I didn't say it on the 3-hour, on the 12-hour, but here I'll go back and point it out because of this divergence here. Maybe I did. But we can see the same thing on the 1 hour time. Not seeing it turn around here and give me any support on this double. It's still going down more. From what I can see in these charts, of course, you never know. And I've definitely been wrong. Now this is a crossover and a crossover here. We did see in the 15-minute time frame on the RSI there was a bit of support for a turnaround, and this also gives us a bit of support for a turnaround on the 15-minute time frame. Now the Ichimoku Cloud 1 week view. I got some stuff in here I'll zoom into. It's still twisted positive, even though we've pulled back. This cloud gives us a lot of room to fool around. If you had bought in where this cloud says to buy in, then you're still sitting on it and you're not too worried about it. The 1 day time frame, let's pull this back. Still not twisted negative, even though we've made this top and we've pulled back that far. I'm trying to see the conversion line and the baseline still haven't crossed over to the negative either. Let me fatten one of those up. Oops. So there's the conversion line and there's the baseline. Hasn't crossed over there yet. And I was expecting that it would have. The 12-hour time frame, it's almost crossing to the negative now. And we almost have a twist to the negative. It's poking through the cloud. So all of this is lining up to confirm an additional sell signal here. 12-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame. It's kind of ugly, but now we're starting to see the 1, 2, 3 top formation. And on the, maybe it was this time frame, I posted in our Discord chat as this was unfolding. This is a pattern that we're looking for. The 1, 2, 3 top formation. It broke down below the formation, came up and tested against it. And as it hesitated here, the Ichimoku Cloud was agreeing that this was a sell signal on this time frame. So still more time for it to go down. And as I was saying at the beginning of the video, I'm not going to predict how far down it's going to go because that's it's easy to say, but our job as the trader is to keep our losses small, look for the entry point, and as soon as you can get your stop loss below so that your stop loss is protecting your money, then you sit on your hands and wait, because it's the market's job now to tell you how far down it's going to go. And we're going to look for the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation as it hits any of these levels all the way down. We're just going to keep watching and watching and watching. And when those indicators all line up for us, it'll just tell us when to go. Now here is the Bitcoin dominance chart. Just to go through the last bit of details, I was anticipating this would be dropping down. That would say that the alts are going up and Bitcoin is topping out, but the alts are going down almost as much as Bitcoin is going down. So this hasn't been a real win for the altcoins, and I'll show some more data on that I've collected up here. Here's the Bitcoin top formation. Here's Litecoin versus Bitcoin. You can see that it's taken a bath here this last little while as Bitcoin's gone down. So as Ethereum really took a hit here As Bitcoin dropped, I was anticipating this would be a bottom formation and strength coming in, and not so fast. So this one I'll go back and I'll do some reviews on the RSI and the unbalanced volume and see what could that have been telling me ahead of time to know that in advance. And I'll close up here with the look at the patron bull market watch. This is available for our patrons where you get a lot more detail and information. And what we're looking at here is the red line means it's a fail. It's gone down to new lows. The orange line means it's nearly going down to new lows. The yellow and green mean it's coming up to a buy signal, and the gray is neutral. It's a sort of a no trade zone in the middle. So we can see that yesterday we had a lot of big fails in the market. No, we had more of the near fails and very few of the absolute fails. But that switched around where a whole bunch of more markets have gone back down to brand new lows, and so the measurement of the fail markets is increased both on poloniex and on Binance. The neutrals have gone down, so a lot more negative look here in the market. And we can see just the basic bull and bear ratio. It's more bearish, less bullish. We need this green line to come up and the red line to come down, and that will tell us when the altcoin bull market is coming in. But it's not all gloom and doom. If we go and look at poloniex, we can see that there are 10 markets in the gray status, 2 markets in the alert status. So there are a set of them that are ready to go, and they'll be the first wave of the cryptos to go. Over on Binance, we have 29 markets in the gray status here today, 4 markets in the alert status, and 4 already in the hold status. So we do have our first wave of cryptos getting ready to go out of the starting gate, and then we'll have our next wave of cryptos and our next wave of cryptos, likely when the first wave of cryptos are topping out and easing off, just like we saw from December all the way through until the end of March from this year. Lots of great stuff on this episode. Let's zoom back into the price of Bitcoin right now as it stands. Looking pretty weak, and I would expect this. I'm expecting it to go lower from here, but I was also expecting the alts to react and go higher sooner. Anyway, that'll wrap it up for this episode. I appreciate you guys being here. If you've got any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments down below. Thanks again, and good luck in all of your crypto trading. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my videos here on YouTube, you may also enjoy my newsletter. Begin by downloading the most important trading strategy we teach, and then once a week I send out an inspiring email about making your money work for you by micro-trading cryptocurrencies. You can sign up for that over at digitalcurrencytraders.com. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.